the river itself in a more sort of glamorous, sort of dramatic way. So I was going, the old Waka, the old Misty, the old lady, the old Wakachangi, the old Wakachangi, the old Waikato River, it was just kind of pointless. And it kind of resonated with some people, sort of forgot about it. A few years later, we were sitting in our office, just the three of us sitting there. We must be in between things or something. Sort of said, look, I'm thinking it might be a beer brand for a laugh. And maybe what would be a good name? And I thought, well, maybe Wakachangi would be quite good. So it sounds a bit like the Changi, which is a beer over in Asia and stuff, and it just seemed to have a ring to it. So I sort of jumped on Facebook, and just back in the days when in Facebook you get a lot of reactions, and said, look, I'm thinking of starting a beer brand called Wakachangi. Thoughts on that kind of thing? And it just kind of went ballistic, I thought, shit, I've got to do it now. So I just got in touch with some beer companies to see if someone would want to make it on my behalf, which is the Christchurch Brewery Harringtons did. Long story short, it was working really well from a brand sense, but financially it was probably going to get us in trouble if we kept doing it that way. And I hooked up with McCashin's Brewery in Nelson, and they came in and sort of, they looked after the beer side of it, and I would do the branding. And that's a partnership we still have. And that kind of led to, the spin-offs like the chips. But to answer your first question, I think the need to make the beer, probably, it wasn't a financial thing. It came from I remember between TV shows, you'd go to the Wellington Sevens or something, or watch it on TV, and there'd be so many people dressed up as Speedo cops and stuff, and there'd be people dressed up in hamster man costumes, and part of you goes, wow, that's great, and it's awesome, it's quite humbling, but it also, you think, are we getting enough credit for this? Not as in financial credit, but the problem with TV is you make a TV show, it's on for 6 weeks, then you spend another 6 months pretending to make another one, and then it's on 6 weeks again. And I thought, wouldn't it be great to sort of keep the story, keep things going between that time, between TV shows, keeping the sort of the love out there, I suppose, or the vibe. So I thought, a product or something would be the only way to do it, and hence the Wakachangi, I suppose, and then the chips. Yeah.
What's been sort of a challenging aspect? I mean, the whole thing must be challenging, but to start that new business, was it the supply chain side, or was it the marketing side? You said you looked after that. What were the sort of challenges or surprises that you encountered?
Yeah, not the marketing side, as I say, because that's the idea. That's the part I enjoy, and that's been easy. Definitely the supply chain side, beginning with the beers, I was literally getting someone else to paying them to make the beer, repackaging it, kind of thing. And then I was lost pallets and brew and all the stuff that I shouldn't have been doing, And this girl that was working for me that should have been making TV was answering complaints about flat beer and this sort of stuff. So, and we got to get out of that side of it and hand it over to someone else. In other words, give up half the brand to a brewery. And that's been good. So that's the only way it would have worked. There's been sort of challenges with that, I suppose. Who's doing what, and where are we going with this, and where can we take it to? What are these sort of exit strategies, kind of thing, if anything at all? One of the frustrations, I suppose, because you're sort of, I suppose, you're hitching yourself to someone else's wagon a bit. We needed to get into cans as opposed to just bottles. And that was taking a long time. And fair enough, because the brewery didn't have a canning line. They needed to buy one from China, and that was taking years. And it was not their fault, but it was really frustrating for me because I needed the story to keep growing, to be able to keep marketing. Otherwise, I'm just saying, hey, here's beer, Wakachangi, drink it.
Yeah.
You can't just say, hey, I'm Leigh, here's beer, drink it. You need to have something to say, by and large. So again, just sitting in the office, frustrated, in the right way, and positively frustrated, said, shit, let's do something off that, so that to keep the story going in the meantime. And that's where the chips would have started. And then the canning line's there now, in cans. So it's the story's completed itself. But that tends to be what happens, just in retrospect, through boredom or frustration, or not feeling you're in control of your own destiny enough. is normally when I suddenly go out on a bit of a limb,
What was
and try
the
something.
what was the difference like between getting into the potato business as opposed to the beer market?
Funny enough, it was a lot easier.